Hey guys, and welcome to episode 50 from the Ultimates 10 series. Of course, the big 50 means that this is going to be a Patreon released world download, as Patreon supporters of any tier get world downloads every 10 episodes. The public release is scheduled to be episode 60. Now, Case of the Past has been a little bit busy setting up hydroponics and also fighting a few dragons, so Case of the Past, take it away. Thank you, future Kesa. This is past Kesa, and I am in the middle of a dragon fight. Except this dragon fight is a little bit special. You see, crafting the ATM star requires a bunch of data models, and that is something future Kesa will need inevitably. So, here I am, doing future Kesa a quick little favor by grabbing a bunch of these data models. I actually ended up waiting for about 7 minutes for that to happen. The dragon, for some reason, just refused to perch. In any case, I am then going to fill up every single one of these data model holders, or deep learners if you will, with data models, and then kill the dragon a bunch of times. This one does. So, 5 deep learners with 18 dragon models in there, or something like that. Here goes literally nothing, because the dragon's gonna die in one hit. Boop. And by having all of these in my inventory, the dragon kill counts on each and every single one of them. How cool is that? I just gotta do that all over again. And while you guys were watching Case of the Past, I was in the middle of creating this simulation chamber wall so that I can use Case of the Past's work and put it all in here. As always, code that I write in the series will be available in the Discord, so join the Discord. The link's always in the description. All that's really left to do is actually label all these, so these are all my simulation chambers. And then, what else? There's going to be cube as always. There's a trash can at the end to take out all the trash, because I don't really care for any of the outputs that this produces. There is going to be the cube for power right here. Oh. And that leaves me with interface. And that's going to be this ME interface. Coolio. Once I hit this with that, everything should pipe up. All of these should eventually start getting their things. And all will be good in the world. And now I can take all of my data models out and put them in their corresponding chambers. You know, of course, getting those data models was only something I wanted to do in between episodes. Today's objective, which I haven't mentioned yet, is roots. I really want to get the crystal staff so I can put the pulsating black hole behind me and then move on to the oblivion shard. But the crystal staff requires a roots ritual. And guess what I'm doing right now? I am preparing an 11 by 11 space right behind me, just like occultism on the other side. Keeping it symmetrical out here, in case I'll land. Now that you have your 11 by 11 space set out, all you gotta do is put your casting altar in the middle, and then put 4 incense braziers around the sides, like so. And then comes the tough part. There are plenty of standing stones, and nothing about the quests tell us what type of standing stones to use. You can zoom in all you want, this doesn't exactly help. And to be fair, although the instructions on how to craft one of these is listed out down here, it still doesn't tell you what type of standing stone. So, I got you guys. I am realizing though I'm gonna need a whole bunch of virgin springs, so excuse me. I mean, there is a 1 in 30 chance to get a virgin spring when harvesting a crop, so if I just stand here and right click for long enough, I'll eventually get enough. Right? Yeah, I think that's how this works. Alright, now that I have the sufficient amount of verdant sprigs, you're gonna need 2 types of standing stones. Mundane standing stone and the attuned standing stone. I would have to give a bunch of credit to Fumbleblock, a fellow content creator who covered this way back, like a few months ago, and went through the troubles of figuring out what standing stones to use. Whose video I'm still using as a reference right now. So, yeah. Thank you, fumble block. And the standing stones go in the following pattern. You leave a block after this guy, put one here, and the tall one goes behind it. And that is true for every single cardinal direction. And where these 2 points intersect, you put down another one of the mundanes. So, you leave 2 blocks, down a mundane, leave 2 blocks, put down a mundane, leave 2 blocks, mundane, 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 and then each one of the cardinal directions gets one of these. It seems like I've crafted an extra mundane standing stone. That's quite alright. Your next step will be to grab yourself a bark knife, and the recipe again, fairly simple, just stamps wood and some sort of stick, and then you're gonna go around and right click a bunch of these trees to get the bark. How about a half stack of birch? That should do it. And then lastly, you're gonna need about half a stack of acacia. And that's pretty much 2 entire bark knives done for. Cool. Now with your ingredients prepped up, and I'm just noticing I don't really need oak bark anyways. Whoops. We can go ahead and make the 20 or so crystal staves needed to finish the mod pack. They need a block of diamond, a stick, and a blaze powder, and these 3 items go in the middle. Boop, boop, and boop. And then in the braziers, which is highlighted by this flame icon looking thing over here, you put in the block of coal, the acacia bark, the wooden spring, and birch bark, and then you set them all ablaze with the flint and steel. Boop, 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 and boop. Oh, almost forgot, you gotta set all of these on fire, and then you can simply shift right click the middle. A bunch of pretty little particle effects happen, and of course, I'm not gonna wait for this fancy ritual, I'm just gonna speed it up. And there we go. The crystal staff that does things and stuff. Yay! I'm just gonna do it 20 odd times and we'll be done. Just gotta replace all of these. Even though these braziers have particle effects, they've actually run out of their things. So you just gotta hit them with their ingredients and right click it with the flint and steel once again. And then you can right click the middle. Because it's accelerated, I got it pretty much instantly. And I just gotta rinse and repeat. More ingredients. Go in. Gotta take back my flint and steel. Oh, not like that. Just hit all the braziers. Shift right click the guy. Another crystal staff. Cool. And you know what? As I've become faster at doing this, it seems like as long as the braziers are burning, you don't need to relight them with the flint and steel. You can just reuse the braziers. And I said I wanted to make 20 of these, and that means this is going to be the last one. So, there we go. The 4 items on the side. And shift right click the thing. 20 crystal staffs. I need to make the roof. Ta-da! And hey, in the time that I've been gone making crystal staffs, look at this. 18 more self-aware dragon models. How cool is that? All of these bad boys can live in the netherite chest that I set up in the last episode, except... crap, I put a barrel on top of the chest. Hold on. There we go. Much better. All of these can now live in here. It's going to put 8 of these into this guy. Right, that's what it was supposed to do. Doing it? Yeah, I just had to turn stock control back off, and now it accepted all 8 of them. Nothing funny here, just a little bit of weirdness. And that means that I get to make the next item. The pulsating black hole. Of course, through the work in the past few episodes, I've managed to make all of these items, and this episode granted me the crystal staff, so I just have to encode the recipe and then put in a request. Not a whole lot of crafting to do, and it should be done fairly quick. Let's check it out. What's it waiting at? That's it. It was just waiting on that machine frame. Very cool. This too can now live on the wall. Taking a quick look at our to-do list, dragon models are done. The hydroponics setup is sort of ongoing. Simulation processors, I think I can do that now. And maybe I can also work on the oblivion shards. And this is sort of what I meant by a room for simulation processes, so that I can put down soul surges on all the sides of these bad boys and craft up the little processor doohickeys as fast as possible. Now, I must mention that if I am to put 6 of these on every single side and then use, I don't know, probably entangle blocks down here for the hydroponic beds themselves, I think I would have to add or remove a couple of these bad boys because they have to be cruxes. Yeah, I think 5 is enough. Do you think 5 is enough? Whoa, 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 is that a second showing of SFM in the same video? Yes, yes it is. And interface. Cube. They're all done for, right? We got the cube, we got the 4 beds, the interface. Interface has then gotta request the ether gas. If I can even get this. I should be able to, yes. And then also, of course, water. And just like that, this place is now ready for whatever I try to grow. I don't know why this power's bugging out, but, you know, it's doing something. I didn't know it would just consume water by doing no harvesting whatsoever, but you know what? I'm not too worried about it. Simulation processes is done. Quantum armors, I'm still in the process of crafting up all of the upgrades for that, so we continue. Base download fixes. And by that specifically, I meant the portion of the base that I tore apart when I was down here trying to figure out why these P2Ps and stuff were bugging out. That is now fixed too, so another thing off the checklist. And that means we gotta move on to the Oblivion Shard. The last remaining ingredient needs a bunch of other ingredients. Some of these seem like they're mob drops, and I am extremely not looking forward to the Mace of Destruction. However, let's just start easy. Let's just start with the Galgadorian drill. This guy needs Galgadorian metal, enhanced metal, hardened drill, and a block of diamond. Galgadorian metal comes from smelting lumps of Galgadorian metal, and lumps of Galgadorian metal are just a crafting recipe away. Enhanced Galgadorian metal basically just comes from a large lump, which is just more Galgadorian metal lumps. Excellent. And then the hardened drill requires the basic drill and reinforced metal and mesh. Alright, something along those lines. Let's just skip this for now. And move right on into the basic drill, which I can just craft up like so. Hardened mesh is its own little microcraft with refined hardeners. Refined hardeners comes from smelting unrefined hardener, or just hardener, raw hardener. Alright, very cool. Obsidian and diamond, more stuff. Hell yeah. It's reinforced metal time, and if a trend is anything to go by, this is going to be a smelting recipe and a crafting recipe, and all of these have already been put in their place. So, I also happen to know that this is where the next one's going to go. That goes there. And the processing recipe ends up right there. This does mean that everything for the hardened drill is now a crafting recipe, and we can move on to the Galgadorian drill. Another thing with all of its ingredients already ready. Let's just request 2 of these to be safe. Ooh, I'm missing the Eye of Galgador. But that is no problem at all. I need fermented spider eyes? Yeah, I can do that. Because, first of all, brown mushrooms. Check, because this is a essence recipe. And then so is the spider eye. I happen to have 32,000 spider essence from a seed, perhaps in that patch there. Somehow, somewhere. The Eternal Stella needs the Stellarite bee with the percentage chance of its harvesting, resulting in an Eternal Stella in itself. And that needs an Ancient Bee spawn egg. And I don't know if I have the patience to deal with bees at this very moment. Is it just netherite? I mean, I could, but at the same time, I don't wanna. That is a future Quesaw problem. In fact, that's an in-between episodes Quesaw problem. Good luck with that one, future Quesaw. Let's take a quick look at EvilCraft, because I don't like EvilCraft. I have end crystals. I am fairly certain I do not have blood orbs, or vengeance focus, or pop chorus fruit. Pop chorus fruit is probably the easiest of them all, because that is literally just that. I, however, happen to not have any blood orbs automated. It does seem like it should be possible with the blood infuser, right? And our past ventures into EvilCraft have yielded me the promise of Tenacity 1, which I can load up into here. Put the pattern provider right here. I should also be able to input the blood as a part of this pattern. And then is the recipe then as simple as this and that? Oh, I do need to know how much blood. 10 buckets of blood. Okay. I do have blood in the system. 81,000 buckets of it. If I just do that and middle click to change the amount to be 10. Excuse me? Oh, hey, a free lead. What do you have for sale? Nothing interesting. Goodbye. Anyways, I should now be able to request one blood orb, and it's missing the empty orb. That should be okay because the empty orb crafting recipe is just glass and that. Does it have to be quartz glass? No, but I happen to have more quartz glass than glass, so that's what my recipe is trying to use. Let's just quickly fix that. There we go. And having requested that craft, it does seem like nothing is happening. It might be the case that I have to pattern provide from the top, because that's the only side it accepts an input from. It's also quite possible that this cannot be automated, so... Oh no, that works. Oh, but it's 150 seconds slow. Yikes. Hey, don't tell anybody this, but there does happen to be ways to speed your processes up. They just involve a little bit of soul searching. I'll see myself out after that one, actually. And hey, this should be faster now, I hope. You know what? It's not the fastest thing on the planet. It'll get the job done, though. In fact, I do believe I could technically put another one of these right here and speed it up even further. Hell yeah. Blood orb. But it is not auto-extracted. But that is still okay. I can then slap an import bus on here. Can you tell that nearing the end of this pack, I am pretty much embracing the jank as it comes to me? Yes, that is exactly what's happening right in front of your eyes. All of this structure falling apart. Well, that's cleaned the blood out of the system, and now I feel like I cannot soul search the bottom because the import has to be on the bottom. I bet I'm right. Let's see what happens if I do that. Does it complete my craft? It does. Okay, cool. At least it's automated. Yay! I still have two speed up things. And that means that with the Vengeance Focus and then the Vengeance Ring, all that's left to automate would be the Crushed Art Gem. And if I'm not mistaken, that is just a simple squeezer recipe. Ooh, that's a forced, what's this? Integrated Dynamics recipe. Unless I want to do it this way. The bees way. Right, mechanical squeezer going in. Import bus goes on the bottom, pattern provider on the side. You know the deal. This is just how it has to be. It has to be this way. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. And with this in place, I can finally crush my dark gems into dark gem dust. Yay! So let's just try to get the piercing vengeance focus. I'm fairly certain everything should be ready. Yes, it is. And just like that, as any other episode, I would like to wrap up episode 50. Now, I do have to mention and give you guys a huge thank you for watching through 50 episodes of just me rambling on and slowly building this place up. It's not been super consistent with my uploads, but you know what? I'm getting there. Episode 51 is looking to be a rather adventure-focused episode with a bunch of these coming as drops or mobs I had to find in the world. And hey, I can finally get into the Twilight Forest. As if I haven't done that for years and years before I actually started recording YouTube. But hey, I'll see you then. Peace out, everybody. Oh yeah, and like and subscribe.